Service error by Moses Yalo. Known as being a powerful hitter from the Trailblazers Vulu Club. Moses opposite for the service with the service. And it's a step in on the line from his service, giving Trailblazers a score. So it's Juliet Sime. Mbappe with the service for the Trailblazers Volleyball Club. Powerful service, not successful. John Kenya with the service. His famous jump service. Nicely picked by the Trailblazers side. And it's an error by outside hitter Adams Ogwa, making it a 7-6 point lead by Kenya Forest Services. Still John Kenya with the service. Nicely picked. Tricky play. Block. Nicely picked again. And the tricky play by Regan Oselu. Step of Volleyball Club. To give a score to the TVC side. Service. Trailblazers. Emmanuel Meli. And it's an attack hit error by Agunda, middle block at Kenya Forest Services side. Still serving is Trailblazers Volleyball Club, middle block Emmanuel Meli down towards Trailblazers Volleyball Club, but not quite successful. An attempt to save it by Moses Yalo. Agunda with the service for the Kenya Forest Services side. Nice service, well picked. And a powerful attack down the line by Adams Ogwa off the TVC side. In goes to serve for the TVC side, Genoselu. A setter. Very young and good promising setter. Trying to learn it from his father, who he happens to be his coach and an assistant of Coach Godfrey Omondi of the TVZ side. Nice service. I think he's taking it well. And a very clever attack by Enoch Kiptum, leaving Moses Yalo with nothing to get. Mwai with the service for the Kenya Forest side. Nicely picked. And it's a set error by Regan Oselu. I think the outside hitter Trailblazers Adam Sogwa needs to pick it well. Nicely picked by. And it's a very good hit by Moses Sialo. onto the Kenya Forest Services side, giving Trailblazers a point. So Adam Zogo with the service. I think Forest at some point regained their concentration and tried very hard for this game. But I think the TVC side are well equipped and know very well what to do. So Enoch Kiptum with the service for the Forest side. Nicely picked by the libero. This is tricky play by Julian Mbappe for the TVC side, giving them a score and moving them forward. Clifford Omanya with the service. I think asking the fellow players where he should serve. And the ball is out of play. It's not quite the best for it to be known that you as middle blockers or float servers, for you to be serving the ball out of court, since you're known to be quite effective with your services. Lewis Ogutu with the service. Not the best of picks by TVC, and a tricky hit by Mbappe for the TVC side to give them a score. Moses Sialo to the service line. Moses Sialo with the service. He's gonna jump serve. And good play by the Kenya Forest Services. Moses with the service. I think he's going to check on how he's going to serve this time, having been penalized initially. Tricky play there. And it's a point to the Kenya Forest Services side, taking the ball, taking the game to 14 apiece. Match. Still Moses with the service. Very powerful. Leading to a cross. Nicely picked. And a very powerful hit by Julian Mbappe onto the Kenya Forest Services side. I think the Kenya Forest Services side are quite questioning themselves. Why didn't they utilize that particular free ball that came into their airspace? Mbappe with the service. And another good play by Evans to give them a score, hence 15 points apiece. Out goes Evans, in comes John Kehanya, back again, having initially been substituted by Evans. I think he's going for his famous jump service. Nicely picked by TVC side, and a very good hit onto the court, giving TVC a 1 point lead. So Emmanuel Mele with the service. Not the best of pick by Enoch Kiptum. And a very solid block by Adams Ogwa, combining well with Clifford Omanya to deny Moses an opportunity to get a score. This calls for timeout by the technical bench led by Mr. Washira, the coach, Kenya Forest Service, to call for relaxation of his players to avoid further misery from the TVC side. But they are well equipped and well advanced and well resourced. They know how to deal with the pressure. It's going to be of good call to them for them to call this particular timeout. Still serving is TVC. Manuel Meli. John Keanya. Nicely picked. It's a pick by now that and I think it's an overreach violation by Adams Ogwa on the ball that was being set by the setter Mwai. Substitution by Kenya Forest Services. Out goes Moi, in comes Wanjala. Service by Agunda. Nicely picked by Adam Sogo. Powerful hit onto the diagonal side, leaving John Kehanya with nothing to pick. Another substitution. Out comes Wanjala. In goes Moi, I think it's for the purpose of the box. Regan Oselu with the service. Tricky service down the line, getting Moses unaware. Hence, a score to the TVC side. Still serving is Regan Oselu. At the Forest Services side, have been having a difficulty in their reception. It was quite evident in the game between them and the Kenya Prison men. Service Mwai. Nicely picked by Adams. Picked well by Libero Forest Services, and an unfortunate and not convincing error by Enoch Kiptum, giving his stature in playing off bad balls. It was not quite the best of his efforts to play that ball. And another error by the TVC side. Adam Sogwa serving it on the net, giving Kenya Forest Services a point, hence a 2-point deficit, where TVC are at the 20th point mark, whereas Kenya Forest Services are at the 18th point mark. Another good attack by Julian Mbappe, taking TVC to 21, whereas Kenya Forest Service are at 18, keenly following the TVC side. So a 3-point deficit is not much. In a volleyball match, somebody can easily come and get the scores. Service by Clifford Omanya, quite technical. I think the libero thought it was going out of play, but it's in the court, giving back a 4-advantage lead for the Kenya Forest Services side. A service by Clifford Omanya still. I think John Kehanya tried to play it well. And a very powerful block by Moses Yalo in a combination with Emmanuel Meli to give TVC their 24th point. This calls for a second timeout by the Kenya Forest Services side. in order to calm them down. I think still is the 23-point mark for TVC, whereas for Kenya Forest Services sides are at 18. Welcome back. So after the timeout, Clifford Damaja still with the service. And a very powerful hit by Lewis Obutu, leaving Manuel Meli standing down on the floor. Quite a good attempt, but quite the opposite for Lewis Obutu. Nice pick. And I think it's a miscommunication of the balls between the setter and the opposite, Moses Yalo. I think they should check on the safety on how they are attacking the ball, so we should not get any injuries. Service still by Lewis Obutu. Nice pick by Adams. And a powerful hit in the middle by Emmanuel Meli to take TVC to the 24-point mark, whereas Kenya Forest Services are at 20 points. So it's a match point for TVC, needing only 1 point, whereas Forest need 5 points. And it's an error in service by Moses Sialo, taking Kenya Forest Services to 21, whereas TVC are at 24. Moses with the service. Will he go for his traditional jump service? Yes, it is. So it's power, precision. Nice pick by Adam Sogwa. Powerful hit by Julian Mbappe to get a score for TVC. Hence, TVC clinch the second set by 5 points to 21. Hold your horses, sit calm, enjoy, and wait for the third set.
100 peke. VIP itakuwa ni shilingi 200 na VVIP nyuma yangu mahali ambapo tunapotangazia itakuwa ni shilingi 500. Kumbuka kwamba timu ambao zinashiriki katika ligi kuu watakuwa wanapatiwa ile kibali ya kuingia ya watu 25 ikiwa wachezaji ni 23 na officials wawili. Hiyo kujuza tu tutakuwa tunalipisha hapa Kasarani kesho na kesho kutwa, Jumamosi na Jumapili. Asante sana. Mbele ya jukwaa naona Trailblazers tayari wako na seti mbili, ilhali Kenya Forest wanatafuta seti. Naambiwa ni Kenya Forest Service. Ni muhimu kuongeza service.
Back to this entertaining match between the Trailblazers Volleyball Club and the Kenya Forest Services side. This is the start set where Trailblazers Volleyball Club are leading by 2 sets. However, in a volleyball match, you are required to win 3 consecutive sets for you to be declared a winner. But in case you get 2 sets and your opponent gets the second 2 sets, you are going for a decider. So Trailblazers need only 1 set to equalize a match-winning scoreline, whereas Kenya Forest side need 2 sets and a final set for them to get a winning scoreline. According to communications from the various officials of the Kenya Volleyball Federation, I think for tomorrow's matches and the Saturday's matches, I think there are gonna be charges where for regular seat is gonna go for 100 shillings. The VIP seat is gonna go for 200 shillings. Then the VVIP seat are gonna go for 500 shillings. That's a piece of communication being passed across. Off kicks, Trailblazers Volleyball Club. Regana Selu with the service, not successful, giving Kenya Forest Service their first point of this set. Boy with the service, nicely picked by Adams Ogwa, and a hit down on the KFS side by Clifford Omanya, giving TVC their first point of the match. Stanley Mutua with the service. Nicely driven to the KFS side. And a quick response by Lewis Ogutu. Almost similar attack given to them by Clifford Omanya, corresponding with what it was previously attacked on them. So Enoch Kiptom with the service. Nice pick. And a clever play by Adams Ogwa using Moses' blocks. I think the Kenya Forest Services side have alternated their lineup. I think Lewis Ogutu, also known as an opposite, has gone to the opposite position. And he's quite effective. He's being known to be a multi-purpose player, playing opposite and middle. Good start by Kenya Forest Services side. Agunda with the service, not successful. Onto the net, giving TVC their 4th point. think miscommunication between the outside hitter and the libero, leaving the ball to go out of play. And let's go to the to the Kenya Forest Services side. Lewis Ogutu with the service. Nice pick. And a hit down the line, but it's out of play. It's quite a very good set by Riganuselu. Another pick again by Adam Sogwa. And quick attack in the middle by Emmanuel Meli. Taking TVC to the 5th point mark. Adam Zogo with the service. Point saved. And a very powerful attack by Emmanuel Meli down the middle, leaving Kenya Forest Services with a lot to wonder. Still serving is Adam Zogo with the service. Still targeting Enoch Kiptum. Not the best of picks. And it's a drop on the floor. I think Lewis Ogutu, the captain, will try and receive for the Kenya Forest Services. This leads to an error by Adams Ogwa. Moses with the service. Nicely picked. And a tricky play by Stanley Mutua to give TVC a 3-point lead. TVC with the service. Emmanuel Meli. He has been quite effective in the front line. Still the target is Enoch Kiptum. And tricky play on to the TVC side. Utilizing the TVC's not perfect block. Hence getting a touch out. Kenya Forest Services serving through George Kore. Nicely picked. Tricky play. Nicely picked again. Then picked again. An attempt. Nicely done. And a very good hit by Stanley Otua to give TVC a point. It was quite a good rally and a good effort from the Kenya Forest Services side, showing that they really are into this game. They are not giving up at any given point. TVC with the service. Riganoselu. Nicely picked Enoch Kiptum. And I think a clever play by Lewis Ogutu at the opposite of the Kenya Forest Services side. Nicely picked. And a very good hit in the middle by Clifford Omanya. He has been quite effective. Actually, today's TVC middle department has been quite effective. They've been playing quite effective in the middle. Hence, as you can see, setters utilizing very well their middle department by being given accurate scores. Nicely picked by Lewis Ogutu. Good block by Adams Ogwa to block down Enoch Kiptum. I think this is going to call for a substitution by the Kenya Forest Services side. I think Coach Yoshira called upon Philip Ndungu. Good outside hitter. And it's a net violation by Adams Ogwa to give Kenya Forest Services A point, hence 8 points to Kenya for the service, whereas the Trailblazers Volleyball Club are at 11 points. Still a 3-point lead. Philip Ndungu with the service. Nicely picked. Powerful hit on the opposite side by Moses Sialo. As we said earlier, being known to be a very powerful hitter, giving TVC their 12th point. Clifford Omanya with the service. Nicely picked Philip Ndungu. And it's a ball out of play. I think Lewis Ogutu was very, very quick, but his efforts were not fruitful. Nicely picked by the Kenya Forest Services side. Tricky play by Lewis Ogutu, just behind the TVC blocks. In comes Boaz for Emmanuel Meli. I think the TVC technical bench is trying to minimize all energy used by the players, having got a lot of games in front of them. Service Kenya for a service. Agutu with the service. Nicely picked. Trailblazers Volleyball Club. Quite an eventful. And it's a block out by TVC. This takes it back to a 3-point deficit of this particular match. Still serving Agutu. Nicely picked. And a good hit in the middle by Boaz to give TVC 14 points, whereas Kenya Forest Services side are closely following behind with 10 points. TVC side serving Moses Sialo with the service. Not effective, according to his reaction. He is not pleased. Kenya for a service through Lewis Ogutu. Nice service, nicely picked. Powerful attack. Adam Sogwa. I think Adams is utilizing his heavy jump compared to Kenya Forest Services setters jump. This gives him an edge to hit the ball very powerful and across the Kenya Forest Services side court. And a ball out of play. I think Moses tried to get a touch off the block, having not received it very well, but he was not successful. Still serving TVC. Adams Ogo with the service. Good pick, Moses, and not the best of defense by the libero TVC, Ian Omondi. TVC have done some few changes. Out went Regan Oselu, in come Jean Masizerano for the setting department. Moses with the service. Nicely picked. And quickly attacked in the middle by Boaz. Substitution. In comes Eugene Okello. Out goes Clifford Omanya. They said I think TVC are trying to rotate the squad. They have a lot of Nice pick. And a good play by Moses. Kenya Forest Services side serving. Douglas Chumbo with the service. He wasn't quite successful. I think it hit at the side of the net. TVC serving. Jean Cloud Masezerano. And an attempt by Stanley Mutua from the attack. From Lewis Ogutu, but not successful. Kenya Forest Services side set Amoai with the service. Nicely picked by TVC. Nice attempt by another pick by Kenya Forest Services side. Another good pick by the TVC side. An attempt by the Kenya Forest Services side to play that ball, but it's not successful. TVC meaning business. They need to wrap up this game. So they need to be well focused in this particular set. Whereas Kenya Forest Services side need to win this particular set in order to save this game and see how it goes. Clever play by Lewis Ogutu on the TVC block to get a touch on the block and taking the Kenya Forest Service side to 15 points and TVC at 19. And a service error by Philip Ndungu, making TVC reach the 20-point mark. Service by Yunokelo. Tried to cleverly play it in front of the Kenya Forest Services side receivers, but it was not successful, giving Kenya Forest Service their 16th point. Another service error by Kenya Forest Service. They really need to concentrate on this particular set. They're losing the services very, very badly, yet they know very well they really need this set for them to try and win this particular game. All hopes are in this particular set for them, whereas TVC really need this set for them to wrap up this game. Service by Moses Cielo. And another attack error by Moses onto the net. The Kenya Forest Services side are playing not accurately, with precaution. Some complaints on the ball pressure. A nice service by Moses Cialo onto the court to get his first ace of this particular game. Still serving Moses Cialo. Think he's gonna still use a lot of power. Quite powerful, but not successful. Hands hitting the net. TVC are on the right direction in this particular side. They require only 2 points for them to win this set. Nicely picked by setter Ian Omori. Not a successful hit by Moses Sialo. I think some words of confrontation between the players. Still serving Lewis Ogutu. Nicely picked. And not of the best sets. A pick by. And a successful hit down the line by TVC through Adams Ogwa. This takes TVC to the 24-point mark and the match point of this particular set. TVC need only 1 point, whereas Kenya Forest Service need a maximum of 7 points. Nicely picked by Philip Ndungu. And tricky play by Jean-Claude Masizerano to wrap up this game by 25 points to 18. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us today. We wish you to have a very good and prosperous night. Thank you for those who are with us watching live from home. For tomorrow you'll be live again. And for those who will wish to come and join us tomorrow at the Moi International Indoor Arena, you are welcome. So ladies and gentlemen, have a great night.